welcome back. So, we've done a review on the Coolster 125, so we figured we would give a rundown on the 2003 400EX 4-stroke. Kind of had a little recent issue, kind of one of those things. We did get it as a barn find. It was already stripped down, so rebuilt it. Timing chain just popped on it, so we will be rebuilding it again, but with a 440 thumper kit. And I'll get into that one here in a little bit. So, long story short, it's a race bike. It's all forward, no reverse. They've got as much power as you could need, as far as you'll keep up with any of the 700s just because you can. It's the best bike for it. Now, granted, it's not made for pavement. I prefer track and off-road. I have been watching a lot of other reviews on these and everything. A lot of people suggest the 450R front suspension with the shocks. The only issue is on this top side here, you have to do a little bit of shaving on the knuckle form to properly clear right, but otherwise, they'll last longer than these gas charged ones will in general. It is an oil-cooled, air-oil-cooled, sorry, but we'll crack her open real quick. Let's just see it. She isn't anything fancy. She comes off as one piece. I personally like the K&Ns. It's just a thing. These ones are actually the washable ones. You know, get the K&N spray, and best thing you could do for your bike. I've also found out it is not good to run the hot plugs. They're known to torch your cylinders. You're gonna melt your goddamn piston straight to the fucking cylinder every damn time. You'll get a couple races out of them if that's what you do, or if you're just one of those that run amucks with them. Depending on how hard you run amok, you might get 3 or 4 runs, or you might get 1 or 2. It really just kind of depends on you. There's so many bolt-on options for these things, it's ridiculous. Okay, so back to overheating. Anyway, they're air and oil cooled. They have the air or the oil reservoir right here on the top, kind of packed up in there. Not a ton of air gets to it for what it's worth. That's obviously why people put these massive radiators in the front of it, just because, you know, they're trying to do their best to cool it down. All understood there. But I can't stand that. That's a little bit ridiculous. Fan cooled isn't enough. It just adds too much electronics to it. And as far as that goes, the best thing I've gotten right now is exhaust tape. This is going to be hopefully our best friend. We're going to wrap this stock exhaust just because it'll be our trial and error. If you notice, the exhaust is like less than an actual inch on this header here. It's less than an inch from the oil reservoir. So you're basically boiling your oil before you even send it to the coolant to let the air cool it down. And like I said, it doesn't get much air to begin with, so kind of needs a little bit of help. So we're going to try and cool it down there. I could say another thing was there's this, I didn't see it on this side, but there's this plastic little plate right here. It really should be metal, let's be honest. Yeah. But, it's supposed to block out most of that heat right off the top of the head, but I don't know. I don't believe that's how that works. Because the other day we had that on there, and I noticed it was starting to get flimsy. The plastic itself is getting too hot. So I switched out the plugs because I had been running one of the fucking hot plugs. No, don't do it. It's a bad idea. So we're back to a cold plug, and it was running a lot better. The gas didn't burn as fast because it's not as hot. Let's see, what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, and when it comes to tightening the chain on these funny little things, so most people have a 6mm Allen that goes all the way across all 4. Undo all 4 of these and make sure you have yourself a fat Phillips head screwdriver, and there's 2 little slots right here. Most people's are usually pretty wallered out. These are actually fairly new. But you take and put your screwdriver in there and you pull it back, and that'll tighten. And as you can see, I actually need to take and do a little bit of readjusting on mine. But it'll tighten this back up to wherever you want it, and it push it back forwards, and that'll loosen it back down. Another issue I've seen a lot of is the brakes. My brakes are, the bushings in these go bad, and when they do, your rotors start rubbing up on this little Allen screw that goes all the way through there. So you gotta readjust those a lot. I have tendency to have a bunch of oil leaking as well on mine. Now granted, this is an 03 and it has been ran like a motherfucker and put away wet. But there is, on the top side you won't be able to see it, there's actually little Allens as well that sit by your rocker arms, and there are another two that hold, what is that? They sit on, like if you're looking at it from the back, they sit on the back here. They both have gaskets on the insides of them. I have one currently that is split because of how old it is, and I just rebuilt this. So the one thing to take and check if you do a rebuild on these is all the gaskets. Make sure when you buy them new, the steel ones are the best.
Ooh, he took it out. That's badass.
That sounds better than most ricers, guys. Gee whiz.
Yeah.
Anyway, where we at? Yeah, so I check the oil every time because it's got a little bit of seal issues with the caps on top. I got to get new O-rings. Oh yeah, that's another thing I was gonna say. So guys, when you go to buy one of these, there's a lot of obvious things that make them stand out to whether it's a good bike or it's just a hunk of junk rolling. So I bought this one, and granted, I already left my little beauty mark on the back here, but a lot of the times you can see how they were abused. This one was wheelied a lot. You can see the arch in the tail, and never take someone's word when they say, oh, it's never been rolled. It's been rolled, guys. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Another thing to look out for, I bought this one with the tires tore up, so not a big deal there. But the issue is, on this backside, the tie rod ends, they're not exactly the strongest for most applications as far as stunt riding goes. So you just got to pay attention to them a lot. If you're doing a lot of, dirt bike side tiring, you're going to stress them out a lot. If you're on track, not as much, because it's carrying its own weight a lot more. So another reason why it's not great for pavement is because of those. Otherwise, it's a pretty solid bike. I've seen so many fucking things that I can do yet to this. It's going to get a brand new bar in the back, brand new bar on the front, new Nerf bars on the sides. It's already got LEDs on it as is, just for shits, grins, and giggles.
Yeet.
But anyway, the plastics on them run between $300 and $400, so I'm going to run these ones till they are pretty well shit. And another thing to look for when you buy a bike, if people don't have the time to take care of their bike and actually wash it and, so forth, they're probably not going to take care of the maintenance on it either. So you got to be careful with that shit. Most of the time, that's why you can buy a blown up bike cheap, because, well, they didn't do the proper maintenance on it. Hence, that's what I did with this one. Anyway, that is pretty much the general idea of what we got going on. Normally we would go for our rip around the block, but we've got timing chain issues right now because, well, we just do.
Yeah, so subscribe if you guys want to follow along with our build series on this. This thing is, from start to finish, it's going to be a hell of a different bike, all the way around.
She's going to rip. We're thinking either White Brothers or FMF exhaust, and if not that, we might see about a Yoshi just for shits and grins.
Okay.
Really let her eat.
Right.
But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. Oh, and 22 tires. That's what this needs. These are actually the 230SX Suzuki tires and rims. That's why they were the bronze color. Personally, not a fan of them.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is that for today. We will see you in the next one, and stay out of trouble.